Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl, Erica Wilson, that had to happen for our Monday night Mothers of Motivated Son, NFL moms, guys. And man, do we have a treat for you guys on tonight. I found this topic to be funny, and so did my sissy. So we're going to try to get through this theme because this here weird questions for draft picks, or maybe just even an athlete, and maybe even just the parents, some of the things that people ask us as parents, as mothers, about our sons. So we're going to go ahead and try to get through this topic on today. So without further ado, without our sissy Melissa Berry, we're going to hold it down for her. But I do have my sissy saying in the building. Welcome, sissy.
Welcome. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Listen, we're going to try to get through this thing because this topic here is a bit weird itself, because we oftentimes we don't think about some things that our kids maybe, being asked, going through this process. So this is not even in the NFL. This is leading up to the NFL. I think round about combine time. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And man, listen, when I looked at the topic, I said, okay, we're going to go with this because we want to try to find some humor, with everything that's going on around us, man. I tell you, we need some type of humor. But with our fellas, again, like I said, we don't think about the questions that they may be asked, or, was there ever a time like you feel like maybe someone asked you an off the wall question?
Yeah.
So what would you say that would be?
Well, one question I got asked was when my son got traded from the Chargers, someone asked, how did I feel about it? How did he feel about it? And then did he just go off on the staff? I was like, I don't know if he went off on the staff. I doubt he did, but I don't know how I was supposed to feel because I'm not the one that was playing for the Chargers. But yeah, I found that to be weird.
I'm telling you, it's like, how could we really answer these questions for our sons, right?
Right.
And it's not just that, because you have them asking questions like, what's going on. Well, how did Tua feel? Or how did a player feel on a team? How would I know? I have no
Exactly.
clue. So it's just some of the things, the darndest things that they ask, not even just as the scouts or the general managers or whatever it may be, even just fans or people that you even may know. The things that they ask is just like, how do I supposed to know that?
Right.
So, and one thing that kind of like stood out to me is when they asked, well, do you think they'll ever go back to their old team? I don't know.
Exactly. How are you supposed to know?
Right. I'm like, oh my God, like, how do I answer that? Right. But tonight's topic, guys, is weird questions for a draft pick. It's not just draft picks we're talking about. We're talking about the parents, maybe the family, or ask weird questions from others. And the thing is, when one hits you with those questions, you look like, whoa, because it kind of catch you off guard, right?
Yeah.
So you think about, if it catch us off guard, how do you think our young men feel with some of the questions that we're going to talk about on tonight?
But see, they have a chance. They could tell them no comment, or they could just walk off. Just I don't know, but it's crazy.
Now, some they can say no comment, sissy, and
Right.
some they have to answer,
Mm-hmm.
And again, when you're caught off guard like that, you're like, whoa, because as a mom, or maybe even a family member, when people come and ask those questions to you, you looking like, okay, how do I answer that? Or do I answer that? Because
Where did it come from?
right. And not only where did it come from, because if they're asking, what if they're asking to go back to report? And then, with the media, 9 times out of 10, when you say something, that's not what they go back and report.
Right. Right.
Not whatsoever. So, guys, our topic tonight is weird questions for a draft pick, maybe a family member, even a parent, or whoever it may be. But, guys, we want to say hello to the Peter Perrymans be holding it down. Great day, bro. Great day, nephew. Thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead, and yeah, I'm gonna be looking down a little bit today because I don't have my questions up on the screen. I tried to do it, guys, but we're gonna get there. Trust and believe we're gonna get there. But these questions, I tell you. So, starting with the first question, and whew, and this is according to Brett Smiley. Okay, this is not something that we came up with. This is according to Brett Smiley and his article. Okay, so one of the things they asked our guys, when did you lose your virginity? Now you're thinking, here it is, I'm coming in to play ball, right? Like I have
Hmm.
football on my mind. I have making, the draft on my mind or making a team on my mind. But here it is, you asking me about my virginity.
That's
Sissy,
crazy.
what do you think? What do you think about that question?
What does that have to do with football? What
Good
does that
point.
have to do with football? And what does that
Exactly.
have to do with my draft, with the draft pick? Absolutely nothing.
Well, not in the eyes of the scouts. Let me tell you, this is how Oregon State defensive end Obum, oh my gosh, I cannot pronounce this. Gwacham, Gwacham. He was asked that question, and he was at the combine when he was asked this question, y'all. And the reason why they say they asked this question is because they want to know, where are you uh without asking, versus, wait, let me see how he said it. He said they're asking this question basically because they want to know exactly, I guess, which way you swing, perhaps, without so much as asking that. Like, I don't know how that matters. When you lost your virginity, you don't know if you lost it to a man or a woman, So I don't understand how they came up with that one. But I'm gonna
That's
tell you
crazy.
this, and this is what they say, because they're asking, like, what is your goal for a family moving forward, right?
Hmm.
Do you think these people really worry about making a family, or their mind is on football?
Football.
Like,
Yeah.
they're trying to give it the best that they know how, and do whatever it is they have to do to get their 40s, or whatever they do at the combine. That's their main focus. But when you're being pulled and you ask this kind of question, so it says, what is your goal for a family going forward? That's what it says. Are you looking to marry young or stay single? You're talking about kids coming out of college.
Right.
So here it is. You have former NFL quarterback and current Bleacher Report analyst Chris Sims, and this is what he said when he interviewed at the combine too, sissy. So multiple teams had wanted him and things like that. So about his plans for making a family, the question might be a passive way of asking about sexuality.
Hmm.
There goes sexuality again. Or an attempt to gauge whether the guy is focused on settling down or partying, as Sim suggests. In other words, are you Tom Brady or Matt Leonard? So you're asking me, I'm at the combine. I'm trying to put some numbers up. I'm trying to be seen. But you're asking me, what is my goal for family going forward? Do I think about staying single or do I think about married? But little do we know, some people actually is married coming out of college.
Hmm.
And I think we have one at the University of Miami, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Deanna and Ryan.
Hmm.
I think they married before he left college. So again, but still, you're at the combine, and here it is. You're asking me a question like this. So why not just ask, basically, which way I swing? What do you think about that?
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's again, like you said, my focus is on the combine, not the questions that you're asking me. ask me that later on down, later on down the road. Uh,
And
you know, let me let me get to where I'm trying to be. Let me focus on that. The task at hand. That's not the task at hand. That's just information that you want to know about me personally.
correct. But this is my thing. What happens if they say no comment? I wonder.
Good
Do
question.
they have to answer these questions? If we have anybody here that can tell us that, because this is something that a scout is asking and about me, general manager. So the thing is, how do we know if they can say no comment or do they have to answer it? Because you got to think about it. When someone isn't posing the question like that, just to see which way you go, like that could kind of throw somebody off, but you just wait to these other ones that
But this is just me personally, my personal opinion. I think they should be able to say, you know, no comment because it's not a question that's geared toward what I'm working towards.
mhm,
That's just a personal question. That's personal information that you could just ask anybody. So they should be able to safely say no comment because it's not a question that's geared toward football.
ex- totally agree. And I think now, not sure, but I really think now that they have it where certain questions cannot be asked, like one of the questions that we're going to go over, because the question that I'm talking about, we're going to spend some time on that because my thing is, are you trying to get me off my game? Or what it is. I mean, is it a mind game? I mean, what is it? Because with this question that I'm talking about, but we're going to move to the next question before we jump into that because we're definitely going to spend some time into that question. But
Yeah,
here it is. They even ask, what's the drug of your choice on your campus? Now you're talking about college, correct?
the
Hmm.
job of my choice.
No, what is the drug?
Oh, the drug.
Yes. What?
Education.
Ah, okay. All right. So this one actually came from NFL Network Steve Marucci. During a sample interview last year with Geno Smith, that was February 2013, so that's years ago, right?
Right.
Geno is someone that I know that played ball with Ingy, and he's with the Seahawks, sissy. So Greg Rosenthal of NFL said Smith seemed stunned. You think? You're asking him what is the drug of your choice? Then answered that he didn't know. So Gino said he didn't know. Again, where did this question come from? What's the drug of your choice? No, what's the drug of choice on your campus? Guess what they expected him to say?
That's crazy.
So he said he didn't know. So this is what they say. The correct answer, of course, would have been, "Sir, I'm high on life." Is that not weird?
Yes, it is.
Because the thing is, you're asking me, how do you know what the right or the wrong answer will be? He
Or
said
is
he
it
didn't know.
right? Or is it a trick question?
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. Is it like a mind game that they play when you're entering the NFL, or just probably to see where you're at? Because I know a lot of times too, when you go on a job and some of the interview questions is just crazy. I know at Home Depot it is. Home Depot actually plays with the mind. They want
Hmm.
to see what are you thinking. But these questions here, I'm almost scared to read this next one. I'm telling you, I'm almost scared to read this next one because had you ran across the right person and you asked this question the way that you did, um, and kept going on about it, I think you would have jeopardized somebody's career. I really do think you would have jeopardized somebody's career. Because
And
if a
these,
person, huh?
I'm saying, and these are actual questions that they asked the
Yeah,
draft.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And,
Wow.
and that's what I'm saying. Like when I was researching it and I was looking at some of the things that they asked, not even just at the combine. If you would have saw some of the things that they had when they were interviewing the players after a game,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the player got had a bad game, or maybe they did something that was out of character or whatever. The questions that they were asking these players, it was just like whoa. And I can't think of his name. Oh my god. But they went to ask him a question, and he said, "Before I answer your question, before you tear me down," he said, "Come over here." Because I believe in looking a man in the eye. He said, "Don't you look a man." He said, "You got to look a man in the eye so you can really know what he's thinking." He said, "So come on over here before you go and you trash my name." He said, "Because I want you to look me in the eye." That reporter didn't know what to say after he said, Michael Strahan, that's his name. And he was serious. And when he did that finger like this, and he told, "Come on over here," you can hear when the reporter finally asked the question, you can hear the nervousness. He was so nervous because,
Wow.
again, when you're answering these questions, whether you're a family member, whether you're a parent, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it may be, they're looking to go back and report. So you have to be very, very careful with what you say, how you say, even what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because when we was told like basically our life is not our life anymore. How we
Mm-hmm.
conduct ourselves, it reflects on our children. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we were to go out and do anything, it won't be Erica Wilson or Sandra Perryman. It'll be like we don't have a name.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be Alan Hearn's mom, Denzel Perry's mom. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. So let's see what Bro is saying here. Bro said that they try and see where your mind is. Or if someone ever asks you anything out of the ordinary, how would you respond? Bro, I get that. But I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this next question, I could not believe it when I read it because I would have never thought in a million years our kids would be asked something like that. Not saying all kids did, but this kid did, you know? And the way that it was asked and the way that, like I said, it was carried on was crazy. So, bro says, what would you say? I think he said, what would you say? What would
Yeah.
what would you say to what? What can you tell me because we done skipped over a little bit. So what would I say to what? Y'all ready for this? Are you ready for this, Sissy?
I don't know.
Maybe I need to leave this last one. Nope, this is the last question. Okay. Mm, okay. Hmm. Y'all ready? These are not the words of Erica. This comes from an article, and it is the weirdest questions asked, basically of athletes. So back, y'all, in 2010. You ready?
Uh-huh.
You sure you ready? Okay. Is your mom a prostitute? Yes.
Huh?
Uh huh. But watch this. In 2010, former Dolphins general manager Jeff Ireland asked Des Bryant about his family life and upbringing and veered a bit off course. When Ireland asked Bryant what his father did for a living, he asked about the father first. The exchange allegedly went like this. You ready?
Uh,
My dad was a pimp. You following me?
uh-huh.
Okay. By him saying my dad was a pimp, that's when the next question came like, what did your mom do for a living? So they asked you about dad first. You answered the question. So now they're asking you, what do your mom do for a living? Hmm. She worked for my dad. Your mom was a prostitute? No, she wasn't a prostitute. That's what I said about if that question was asked to, I'll say, a hot-headed person, because we all know how our kids are about their mothers, especially boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't see. Yes, Shannon. Yes, ma'am. Yes. She say, "Wait, what?" Yes.
I'm over here shaking my head like, are you serious?
Uh huh.
Wow.
Bro says, "What would you say to the crazy questions that's asked from the media?" Um, I learned that early on when Alan was at University of Miami, bro, when one of the reporters came to ask Alan a question, and I was standing right next to him, I heard every single thing he said to her. And only later on to find out that she put something totally different than what he said in there. So I think I probably will be a little cautious with anything I say to the media, because man, they can be, they're the media. They, how much do we know that they report good? You know, they're always trying to find some type of dirt, because to ask someone a question like this, just because he said his dad was a pimp. Now maybe he was playing on them. Maybe he was playing the same mind games that they were playing with him, you know. But to come back to say, was she a prostitute?
Wow.
Where is the level of respect? The
Wow.
shit, hey niece, she say, what? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Character assassinated at assassination at its finest. Totally agree. Totally agree. But guys, guess what? You have to remember, I don't think that they were in the league at the time. See, they get the kids and ask them these questions before they get to the league. So this is like during combine, when they're doing all of these interviews, and when you go to combine, first of all, you have a day of physicals where you're being pulled every which way but the right way.
Yeah.
They want
Hmm.
to make sure
Right.
everything is working properly, right? So you're dealing with just a whole day of that. I think they call that medical or something like that, where they're basically just been in that day. But where do they find the time? I guess it's like an interview. Would you say, Sissy?
I
Like,
would say, yeah. Hmm.
man, I couldn't even fathom sitting in front of someone interviewing me, asking me something off the wall like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes. And that was just some of the questions. Guys, they even asked the guys. Hold on. Let's see what niece said. I mean, bro says, nephew says, the media will say or do anything to make a story. You're absolutely correct.
Hmm.
You're absolutely correct, nephew. They definitely will. And they don't care who it hurt in the process.
Hmm.
They just want a story, at all costs. They don't care. Even look back when the young man from the Pittsburgh Steelers was killed in Miami on that highway.
Hmm. Yeah.
What his past have to do with anything that happened to him?
Exactly.
Don't understand. So anytime that they can make a story, however, even I want to say, even if you, mm, we as the family members or the mothers, and I mean the parents, we don't have to respond, right?
Right.
But what happens, and maybe bro or nephew could answer this, what happens when our kids says no comment? Because I remember it was a time where Alan ran from the media. Like he literally, after whatever it is, shoot, he gone.
Hmm.
So what happens? I really wonder what happens when they says no comment, or maybe like they said, said the wrong answer.
Wow. I can't remember. Denzel did an interview after a game, and I can't recall. I don't know if he's on the show or not. If you are Denzel, um, can you type the question that they asked you? They asked him a question, and he was talking to another reporter. They asked him the same question again, and he was like, "Next question." He didn't answer. He didn't say no comment or anything. He said, "Next question." I think, and then the reporter asked him twice the question, and he was like, "Next question." So I don't remember what the question was that they asked him, but yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. Bro says nothing, but when they're called to do an interview, they have to show up. I get that, bro. But if I'm showing up and you're asking questions like that, do I have to answer? Like those some deep questions. The other question that I read, not verbatim, guys, please don't quote me on this. He said they asked, do you wear a G-string or jock strap on game day?
What does that have to do with my playing status? I don't
That's
know.
some, those are some deep questions. Like those, not just in some deep questions, but who coming up with these questions?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Where do they get these questions from? Who's coming up? Who's coming up with these questions? That's
Like,
crazy.
so, guys, as you can see, our um our guys, athletes, not just our guys, athletes, period, what they go through. Like here it is to be asked those kind of questions when you're trying to get, stay focused and do what you're there to do. Um, Maybe it is to get them off focus or to see if they could be easily distracted by what someone
Yeah.
say. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, our superstar Shannon, she says messy boots. Yes, yes, yes. And Bro says, respond like Marshawn Lynch. I'm here so I don't get fined. Okay. Oh, okay. So if you show, okay. So, bro, if you show up, you don't get the fine. Even if you don't say anything, long as you show up, is what you're saying.
That was nephew.
Oh, nephew. So, nephew, even if Perry must be showing out, y'all. Well, okay, here it is. So, nephew, even if you show up, right? I mean, no, if you show up and you don't comment, can you be fined or not? Or is it that they're just worrying about you showing up? What is it? Because at the end of the day, if you're called to do an interview, right? And uh but yes, uh if you're called on to do an interview, just say one of our guys is having a bad day. Maybe just lost a game. Um or maybe had an injury that game. That's the question I want to ask right there. What happens if before they had an injury, they were having a monster game, right? And after the injury, they're called to do an interview. Do they still have to do that interview? Because now, depending on the injury, though, what you think, Sissy?
Wait, repeat that again.
Okay, say for instance, they had a game and
Mm-hmm.
they were having a stellar game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here it is, they got injured. However, the media, depending on the injury, though, um, they did not return back to the field. However, they called to do an interview because I'm not sure if they pick the people they want to do the interviews for beforehand. I don't know how that go, but say for instance they're called to do an interview and just say a concussion, because
Mhm.
sometimes you don't leave the stadium, you're still there. They just, put you in concussion protocol and you
Right.
don't return back to the field. So what if you're called to do an interview? Do you still have to show up? Bro says just show up. You don't have to answer dumb questions. Okay. All right. So that's what I want to know though. If they don't answer, will they get in trouble or they're penalized? How does that go? Because at the end of the day, if I'm showing up to my interview, even
Mhm.
like I said, going on a job interview, any type of interview, right?
Right.
And the questions that's being asked, it's very obvious that a person is trying to get to know you and know what they're getting. Um,
Right. Mhm.
and maybe even see where your mental is, because to ask those type of questions that would throw anybody off,
Right.
you
I
know.
agree.
So when the young fellow, he answered and said his dad was a pimp, I would say maybe he was messing with them too. um you know Now that's a good question. Yes, Shannon, I would love to know, superstar. So but my thing is I'm sorry guys. So that's
The thing of it is too, our language can be misinterpreted out because we use a lot of slang.
mhm.
So when he was saying my daddy was a pimp, that means it could have been my daddy was a pimp. He was a gangster. You know, how we talking. So they'll probably took it to another level, as into saying, oh, okay, his dad really was a pimp. But he was probably using the word as in saying, my daddy was cool. He was against, instead of just saying, oh, my dad was cool or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm not saying that was the case, but I don't know. But that was just crazy. That's crazy.
Ah, my daddy's a pimp. And then you come back and, well, what did your mom do?
Right.
Oh, she worked for my dad. My dad could have had a business, but I
Right.
guess by answering the first question, the second question was a setup.
Mm-hmm.
And just for them to keep, going and going. So, whew, that's good. Hey, my beauties. Hey, niece. Hey,
Hey.
Kwanzaa. But yeah, that right there is, like I said, that it can be. Again, they're seeing how easily they're um, um, bothered per se, because anything like that, can throw somebody off. Well, some people, because some people, they just look, you hear it. Like me, I could hear something and I could block it out so good. That's something that didn't just come, but I had to learn over the years. However, if I'm there and I'm sitting in front of you, maybe who's to say, maybe even after medicals, what if they had these babies coming in, not well, these babies, but these young men coming in there after medical, after going through all, those tests and whatever it is that they got to
Mm-hmm.
go through. Now you're going to sit and you're going to ask me these kind of questions.
A dumb question. You ask me a dumb question, I'm gonna give you a dumb answer.
See, and
That's,
again, so giving Des Bryant benefit of the doubt, maybe that's what he did.
yeah.
You know, uh, some media personnel needs to be 86. Girl,
Yes,
I was
86, 32.
32.
86, 32.
I know
I
that's
know that's
how
right.
she pay attention. Yes, Shannon. Yes, some of them do need to be 86, 32. Because it's crazy or some of the things that they ask, But again,
That's
when
a good
coming,
response to a dumb question.
yeah, absolutely.
You ask me a dumb
Absolutely.
question, my response would be, you need to be 86. They don't know what it is, but we know what it is.
Don't have a clue, but just don't even know. Here it is. But again, okay, this is another question that I have. Why, if something happened with an athlete, his family have to be drug into it? What do you think about that, Sissy?
I think it's crazy
Mhm.
because what do I have to do with whatever the situation is going on, you know, with our child? Is it because you can't find anything negative to say, so you want to involve the family and pull up their history. I don't know. I don't know what their mindset is when it comes to stuff like that. But it's crazy.
It's
If it's
almost,
pertaining to football, just leave it, to football.
yeah. It's almost though like we did a show, we call it Walking Targets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. I'm not walking on eggshells. I'm just making sure that I
Mm-hmm.
represent myself very well because I was Russell Wilson before I even thought about having Alan Hearns,
Mm-hmm.
or Darryl Wilson. So at the end of the day, it's like if we, God forbid, anything were to happen with anyone that's connected to a player, the it's like the people don't even get recognized. It's not going to be Erica Wilson again. Like I said in the early part of the
Right.
podcast, it won't be Erica Wilson or Sandra Perryman. Our kid's name, Mother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how that can be so. The media mindset can definitely be
Yeah.
off the media. I mean, off the meter.
Off the
No,
meat.
it's something worse than that superstar because I just cannot fathom. Granted, oh man, it was one guy. I'm not gonna call his name, out of Miami, and all used to always. I used to see him always like bashing the Dolphins or whatever. Just I guess trash talking. You know, but
Mm.
here it is. This is someone kid. This is someone loved one. You know, and then it's like when the Dolphins doing good or whatever team is doing good, maybe even the player when they're doing good, you're riding their coattail. But the
Mm-hmm.
moment they make a mistake, or everybody makes mistakes, but the moment they make a mistake, you throw them up under the bus.
Yeah.
Good. I saw last night. I want to say last night. Do you think our guys care about you guys burning their jerseys? These are money that you. This is money that you spent to. We are forever grateful for the fans. I'm sure our kids are forever grateful for the fans for purchasing the jersey. But this guy was really pouring the what they call it stuff, the fluid, the lighter fluid,
Lighter fluid.
and the jersey wouldn't burn, just the top part of it, and he doused it with the lighter fluid. And then the next thing that came out of his mouth when he was saying, that the player was trashed, the jersey don't even want to burn. Please be mindful of what again, here it is. You're burning your jersey. Yes, it's his name on it, but is it your jersey that you spent your money for? Even with the TVs. Look, when it was trashing the TVs, the angry fans, it's just so, I mean, I don't understand. Granted, I know some people are really diehard fans. Sometimes you got to win. I mean, sometimes you're gonna win, sometimes you're gonna lose.
Right.
Are you gonna cause wreck every time you guys lose? Will
Yeah.
that player be trash every time?
Well, he wasn't trash when you brought the jersey. You brought his number. So
Well,
so,
so true. So one of the questions that I got asked about Alan when he came up with the story of him being allergic to grass. Why do you let him play then? Let you talk about a grown man, and if it's something he can, that's his choice. Why do I let him play? Not just why do I? Do you think that he'll ever come back to whatever team? Do you think he's going to come back in the league again? Um, these are questions. Do you think that they will ask our kids?
no.
I'm diehard. Well, I'm not tearing up my stuff.
I know that's right.
I think you kind of need to rub off on the others. I really do, superstar, because again, people. How do one get to that extent to go to? I mean, a jersey, okay, maybe so. Like what, 100 and something dollars? Still, that's a lot. But to mash up your TV, your coffee table, take a chance of hurting yourself when you're engaging in this, like Mm-mm. And not just hurting yourself. You saw the little kids in the video, and they was like, "Mom, Dad's doing it again." If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, we did an episode where we were talking about angry fans, and some of the things that was on there was so weird and crazy. You can't fix stupid friends. She say something too far gone. Well, that could be true. That could be true, especially when they're intoxicated. We also spoke about that too. About sometimes when they get too a little bit on the tipsy side, one tend to do some crazy things. I don't know if you remember what happened at the Dolphin Stadium when someone was out there grilling, but must be left the grill on and it burnt up a lot of cars. Could you
Right.
imagine coming out of a game and your car is all burnt up?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ah,
That's crazy. I can't even begin to imagine.
mm-mm, no, because when you go to the tailgates, not everybody. Because remember that time we did the tailgate in Jacksonville, and we had that really long tailgate. However, a lot of people didn't go in the game. Some people stayed back, and just to see, you know, that happening, and then these people coming out seeing their car burnt, and here go a weird question. And that's why I said what I said, because I'm going somewhere with it. The weird question, well, why did you park next to that car? What? How did I know that
Right.
the grill was going to be left on and it was going to, whatever happened, happened? How do I know? So I just don't think sometimes what they say, how do they say the common sense thing? Oh gosh, can't quote it right now. If somebody could quote it, put it in the comments for me. But guys, we're here live tonight with the girl Erica Wilson, and it had to happen for our Monday night NFL Moms show, guys. And we're talking about weird questions for a draft pick. Not just the draft pick, but maybe the family members, maybe the parents, maybe even friends, because if one see that someone is connected to a player, whether it's, it could be, like I said, it could be a close friend. The questions I'm sure are still being asked to the friend. So again, we just have to be mindful of what we say, how we say it. Well, not really how we say it, because if we give it off, it's not going to be said how we said it. And that's just not with media. If you play that game, I can't think of the name of it. You tell somebody something, and by the time it get around the room,
It's not what you told that person.
nowhere near,
Yeah.
nowhere near of what you said. So again, I just don't understand these questions that they ask the young fellows.
Mhm.
And like I said, this is not even when they make it to the league. This is before they're entering the league, and they're at combine. And they have to sit down and speak to these scouts. They have to, talk to these GMs and things like that. But that one right there kind of just threw me for the loop, because I just didn't think that anyone would cross the line like that.
Yeah.
And if you did ask that question, I guess again, when he answered, I guess that's where the second question came from, and the third, you know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, I don't know. And that's why I say if they come across, what happens if they come across someone that's very vulnerable, you know? Because oftentimes we find it, we know our kids love football, right?
Mhm.
A lot of times, a lot of kids are forced to play. So now, if I really don't want to be there, I'm doing it just for my parents or my family. Now I'm being asked this. What happens if a kid break at that point? Darius, Desmond Jr., Desmond, bro, could anybody answer that for me? Because I would like to know, like, have anybody I wish I could I researched that, because I would like to know, have anybody ever walked away after being asked those type of questions.
Wow.
And if they did they go back after the player to bring them back in? Like, how does that work? I really would love this to know this. I have people ask me all the time, how and why am I still in contact with you and your son? Don't even play. My response is because of who she is as a person, not because of her son. And mind your business, Pooh. I know that's right. Superstar. You see,
Wow.
that's a weird question too. Like, how dare you? I mean, why am I still in contact with you and your son don't even play? That's because you 10 toes down. You're real. You wasn't there just because who Alan, Alan was, who is, not was. But at the end of the day, for someone to ask a question like that, it just shows you who they are. Because again, we find it on way too often where if you're not a part of something, no one want anything to do with you.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
were the people who asking this question were they just there because of the benefits or whatever it is they thought that they can get, you know? But one thing I can say, Shannon, superstar, she has held it down no matter what team Alan have been to. Her granddaughter, I think it's their granddaughter, loves Alan. Agent 88 is what the young lady call him. I mean, the little princess call him. I really get asked that all the time. I pop off from time to time. Friend. I know you do. I know you do. But again, that's a question. I think weird. Why are you asking me? Why am I still in contact with her?
That's
Not
crazy.
just because
That's
Alan was
crazy.
there playing in Jacksonville. Shannon was one of our faithful volunteers for our organization, 88 Blessings. And I don't care what it was, she made sure if she couldn't show up, something was there from her. And for someone to actually, when our birthdays come up, we want gifts, we want cards. She would say, no, don't buy me a gift, donate to 88 Blessings. And they would donate all of these school supplies. This was around school, our back to school giveaway. But the thing is, she was selfless, and not that she was selfish.
Right.
She wasn't connected because of who they say we are, or
Right. Right.
what she can get. She poured. She poured into 88 Blessings. And I guarantee you, if when we come back off sabbatical, if it was something else that she could do, she still would do. So these are not, some people are not seasonal. Some people are, for a lifetime. So even Sissy, remember we spoke about that. What happens when the uniform come off?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your kid
Mm-hmm.
in the eyes of so many?
Yeah.
Not just when you finish with the game. I'm talking about retire, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When that uniform come off, who are you in the eyes of others?
That's crazy. Mm-hmm.
You got 16 games. I think 17 this year, if I'm not mistaken. But who are they the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm.
It was so weird. One time we were out somewhere and they know who our players by the uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really not, big on social media, because they have their pictures all over, whatever. But you have someone that's probably standing right next to Denzel, Damien, or Allen, and they really don't, can't even picture them because all they know is a uniform
Yeah.
and don't know the person. You know what he could do on the field,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know all of the person. I mean, you don't know who that person, his whole being. Not that you probably would ever know as a fan, But again, we just have to be careful of how we speak about each other, how we treat
Mm-hmm.
each other. Because again, there's always a listening ear, always. And we're sitting in these stands. You guys probably don't even know who we are when we're sitting there and
Mm-hmm.
things are being said. I know a couple of times I almost got into an altercation. I almost got 86-32.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I almost,
Don't
I
do
almost
it.
got 86-32. Starting with the Patriots Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the Patriots
Wow.
Stadium. Yeah. And another weird question I was asked, you're not really Alan Hearn's mom, are you? You his sister.
Wait, Sissy, did you get asked the question, how does it feel to be an NFL mom?
Yes, all the time. All the time. Yes. I can say Alan is a very humble young man on and off the field. Yes, ma'am, Shannon.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, superstar. Yeah. Yeah. How does it feel? Um, that's a question I get stuck on it because I think that we still the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, haven't hit you yet.
I was asked that question, and I'm honest, being honest, my response was, how am I supposed to feel?
Mm. But what I'm
How am I
asking you,
supposed to
like,
feel?
has it
Because
really?
all you did was just add letters in front of mom. I'm a mom.
There you go.
So I'm the same person, whether he's an NFL player or not an NFL player. I'm the same mom. So how am I supposed to feel? I get asked that a lot.
I'm gonna tell you what they asked. When they think that you should have something, your son
Oh,
ain't do that for you.
oh, yeah,
You can't be because your son an NFL player.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
be clear, guys, and I'm getting close to the camera. I don't have no NFL money. I don't have any NFL money. I do not get out there and sacrifice my body.
Yeah.
I don't play it down. I don't go out there and work out. I do not have NFL money.
Mm-hmm.
My son do. Now, if I may need anything, I'm sure yes, he would do for me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, please stop thinking just because even if one connected to a player, don't
Mm-hmm.
think that the player is, what Alan told me, and this is, I'm telling you, like that child is an old man soul. He has an old man soul trapped in a young person's body. I remember I got bent out of shape I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said, you know what, mom? He said, I want you to get here with me. He said, because nobody obligated to do anything for you. They're not even obligated to invite you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of harsh when he said, I thought that was kind of harsh when he said it. But as I sit down and I think about what he said, he's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we as a people, we put so much expectations on people.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't do, not just financially, when they don't
Mm-hmm.
do what we think that they should do or we thought they would do, our
Mm-hmm.
feelings won't be as hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say, you know what? Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes a whole lot of sense. And this is where I can say, love people without conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't love me because what I can do for you or yeah, what I can do for you. Get to know me and love that person,
Yeah.
And I tell people also, if I can't help you, I'll say bye bye because I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to hurt anybody. I
Right.
don't want to hurt anybody. So when you're making these connections with these NFL moms, NFL families, NFL friends, they're still human beings, but our money is not their money. I mean,
Right.
their money is not our money.
Yeah.
And have you ever been put in a position where can you ask your son to do X, Y, and Z?
Hmm.
What is your response when they're when just say they I'm not going to say whatever they ask, but if you're asked, well, can you ask your son to do X, Y, and Z? Just give me what was one of your responses from that?
Can you ask them?
Okay, all right. Terrence Walker said, "Gonna smoke us some good barbecue when you come back to Duval." Ooh, listen, my mouth already watering here. Superstar, because my mom downstairs making some turkey wings and collard greens
Ooh, ooh.
on a Monday. She,
Yes.
we didn't even have no food yesterday, y'all. We had leftovers. You cook like that on a Sunday. But I ain't complaining, Mom. If you listening in, I'll be downstairs in a few minutes.
I know that's right.
But yes, I will love that, Shannon. Ooh, and if Mom heard that, she loves some good barbecue. So who was that? She said Terrence Walker. See, all right, okay. And she said he smoked turkey legs too.
All right now.
I'm gonna make sure to do all sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. But guys, let me tell you something. Tonight's topic, it was a little weird. And as we can see, the things that goes on behind the scenes
Hmm.
with our children, uh, as far as all of these questions that they're being asked, and better eat them greens early, if you know what I mean. That's why I said soon, bro. That's why I say soon. It's like, get off of here. I'm going down there. And I know not to eat too many, bro. Yeah, yeah. They be so
Hmm.
good. They be so good. And then she has like a little spice with that. Make them a little spice. Oh,
And you wrong for that. But
look, my mouth
okay.
watering now.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know who's right here. It's
Look,
seven.
at least it's your mouth and not your eyes this time.
Oh, so you joining in with them, right? Okay, okay.
You know
Y'all
I love you, sissy. I love
She
you.
joined in with them, but you're right. Us not sweating tonight.
No,
But that's
they
let me tell
not.
you something. We really value you all here, and it had to happen. And we know we can't do this without each and every one of you. We ask that you subscribe. We ask that you push the notification button. We ask for you also to send us some stars because it helps us to make more great content for you all. But not only that, the reviews matter too. And we have a young lady, Taria, which did a great review for us right there. And I like to put up these reviews so people can see we're definitely doing a thing here at It Had to Happen. We're making an impact on someone, and it's great for maybe our donors or our sponsors to see this because they're coming. They're coming. Not only that, I also put up on our page our IH2H motivation. And this week it says, I can and I will fly like an eagle. Yes, ma'am. Definitely we will. Charlene Bowie, looking good, ladies.
Hey.
Darius says, LOL. I guess he's laughing at what you said. Don't laugh at that, nephew. And our superstar says, real wrong for that. No,
Oh,
you were wrong when you
goodness.
told me about that barbecue and that smoked turkey.
Yeah.
That
Y'all
smoked
going
turkey
in.
leg. Real quick. Hi, niece. Bobby Roo. Hey, happy birthday to Beans. Tell us a happy birthday and thank you so much for tuning in. But listen, I went to Orlando. No, yeah, Orlando one time. And we didn't want to go into SeaWorld. We just wanted the turkey legs, right? Do y'all know we maneuvered our way in there? We got them turkey wings that we left. They let us in to go get them turkey wings. They had someone to escort us to go get them and then escort us right back out. But just to let us go in there was amazing. Oh God! So you really got my mouth watering with the smoked turkey leg, Bobby Room. Thank you, niece, Charlene. Charlene. Hey, LOL. Listen, y'all, we have some great things that's going on behind the scenes. We're not going to speak about it as of yet, but just please do lay around. The NFL moms and Miss Charlie Bowie is on the move. Better believe it. Just wait and see. This is Eve. Oh, I almost let the cat out the bag. Not yet. But listen, please do hit that notification button and it'll let you know every time we go live here. It had to happen. Not only that, if you can get your brother, sister, cousin, mother, brother to subscribe, guys, it's free. Totally free. And we're trying to hit a 5K mark by the end of the month. So if you can, and thank you to all when I put up the post who shared it, who subscribed. We're forever grateful. Again, I cannot stress enough. We're so grateful for you all because again, this is something that we cannot do without each and every one of you. And then on Tuesdays, we have our prayer broadcast at 5:30 with the Bishop Kenny Berry and the beautiful Satara J at 5:30 every Tuesday. Wednesdays and Thursdays, we open the floor for different guests to come on to tell their it's because we all know your it had to happen to you for you to share with someone. But on this Wednesday, it's going to be very, very special. I connected with someone. She wrote this, I wrote this article and she put it into her magazine. I haven't really went into details about something that happened in my life, but inside of this article, I'm telling you guys, if you have a heart, it's a tearjerker. However, it had to happen. I do not fault anyone. I just know that it birthed me for my purpose. And again, whatever your it is, please hold on. Do not give up. Keep your eyes, keep the faith, and know that God is going to bring you out of it. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Those it's, those trials, those tribulations, they're birthing something. So just get ready. And I'll be there to cheer you on because, my God, we all deal with some types of it's one way or the other. What choice are you going to make? Are you going to let it make you bitter or are you going to let it make you better? I pray that you can fly with us because, guys, we're going to new flight, to new heights. God is definitely doing a thing here that it had to happen on this broadcast. Guys, this broadcast will be a show sooner than later if it's in God's will. We love you all. Sissy, is there anything that you would like to leave with our guests on today? Because I got to get downstairs to these turkeys.
Yes, all I can say is I'm on two screens, sissy. I'm split. But be mindful of how you respond to certain questions. And if you don't feel comfortable asking a question, just say no comment. But don't just walk off. But just be mindful.
Well, not even just saying no comment, Sissy. Um, like bro said, you asked me a stupid question. You may just get a stupid answer, But again, you do have the right not to say
Mhm.
anything because we all know silence is golden, you know. And again, the media can be, oof, they
Mhm.
can be, I don't even know what word to use for it. But again, just do know that our guys deal with some really, really deep things behind the scene that I didn't even know these questions was being asked until this topic came up. I don't know if Denzel talk to you about it, but Alan has never told me this, and I can't wait to speak with him to ask him where he, what's
Mhm.
asked, any of the questions, which he probably won't say because Alan don't tell nothing.
Yeah, Denzel told me to stay off of social media. Mhm.
Well, no, not just so we have to search these topics because we have to get on
Yeah.
to talk about it. But when I read this is an article, and I'm like, wait, what? You're asking somebody, is their mom a prostitute? Do they wear a G-string or a jock strap? What was the other? Um, when did you lose your
Boxes of brief.
virginity?
Yeah.
Like I'm here to play ball. Last comment. When it comes to when it comes to the media, it's not about being accurate, it's about being first. Okay.
Mhm.
So, okay. I don't think I quite get that, nephew. Could you break that down for me? It's not about being accurate. Oh, I get what he's saying. Maybe it's not the accuracy of the reporter, the report, whatever they're giving back. It's just who get the story first. Is that what you're saying, nephew? Because again, they do run up on the scene. Like you said, one reporter asked Denzel a question twice, and he just said next question. I think you have
Mhm.
that right. I think everyone do. So,
Mhm.
guys, again, we love you here. It had to happen. We know we can't do this without each and every one of you. Please do tune in with us here tomorrow at 5:30, if God's willing. We'll be before you all, soaring through 2023 with the Bishop Kenny Berry and the beautiful Satara J. Guys, again, we love you guys. Be careful out there. It's just so much going on here in Atlanta. I think Atlanta, I thought that Miami had some, or Jacksonville had some real things going on. Atlanta has some big things going on. It's just so dangerous in so many different places. So guys, please do be careful. But until next time, God bless you all. Oh, virtual hug, sissy, hugs and virtual love. Because, guys, we love you here. And it had to happen. We cannot do this without you, and you. Now I'm going off to my turkey wings and collard greens. Let's eat every one of you. Until next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Erica's empowering empire. 88 blessings soar movement. It had to happen in a beauty so rare. We'd love for you to join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It had to happen with Erica Wilson. Following our social media.